Hey, this is Joe Price. I just wanted to give some instructions for how to help your missionary by growing the family tree. So I'm just going to do a little demo for Derry, New Hampshire. Let me share my screen. So I think the best place to start is actually to use Goldie May. So let me just show you how to set that up. You just Google, or you just type in your browser Goldie May, and then you just hit install on Chrome, and then you hit add to Chrome. And so now I've just added Goldie May as a Chrome extension. And then you just hit the little puzzle piece and you hit Goldie May. And notice here, I now have it open. And when you first come into Goldie May, you'll need to log in and you'll hit these buttons this at the top here and just hit volunteering. So let's see what we find. So we're going to type in Derry, New Hampshire. Notice as we type that, it says 477 people, which is great. Maybe if your missionary told you some of the surnames of people they're working with, you could type that in, or you could type in a name that is close to your family. So here we'll just try Hamilton. And so unfortunately, we don't have any Hamiltons in Derry, Rockingham. So that's fine. We'll just stay with Derry. And we're going to hit start. And then it will pull up a census record for someone who lives in Derry. And then if that census has already been completed, it'll just skip to the next one. Now, here's a couple things I really like about Goldie May is that it will tell you if you're related to that person. So this family right here is my 8th cousin twice removed. It'll show up in a little blue box right here. It'll also flag if there's possible duplicates. So you can see Charles has a possible duplicate on the family tree. So then here I'm going to attach this. Okay. And then I can show you how to do the duplicate. And then with Mildred, so she was born 104 years ago. And so for temple work, we use a 110-year rule. But I've been adding people to the family tree up to about 1920. And so then we would add Mildred to the tree. And the other nice thing we could do is we could go on Ancestry and see if maybe we can find a death record for her. Okay. But yeah, and then let's just take a look at this possible duplicate. Now, again, merging duplicates is more complicated, but it might be something that people in your group would want to work on. And you can see that this is a really good match. The birthdays are off just a little bit. Well, actually, no, the birthday's spot on the death days off by day, which is very common if you're using a burial and a death. So we would then want to merge these. And so let's do that. And great. Okay. And then once we're done with a hint, the nice thing is that we just here in Goldie May, we just hit next, and then it'll just pull up a hint. And one thing I really like about this, doing it as a family, is that we kind of get to keep track of how many we have left. And so again, here I have a 7th cousin 4 times removed. Let's kind of look at the information here. You can see Derry, all the other information lines up really well. Now, normally in Source Linker, we would hit compare, add, attach. But if we want, Goldie May has this nice little thing that will just automatically attach them. And again, it looks like we have another duplicate. And so if people in your group feel comfortable doing that, they could come in and take a look. So it looks like, again, here's another case where we have an exact birth match. You can see that the last name's off by a letter, and then the parents line up really well. So then I would want to merge that duplicate. And I would also want to merge the parents. I won't do that right now, but I'll come back and do that. So yeah, that's basically how Goldie May would work. And so you have the ability to search on place or surname. And then Goldie May will just do census records for now. Though once you get to someone, you could go and do other record hints here. Okay, so I think that's the best way to get started on helping your missionary. Let me show you another way that you can help. And this way will help for any country, any record collection. So you're going to go search records. And then again, I would type in Derry, New Hampshire. Okay. And I like to just do the broad search to begin with. Now, granted, I'm going to get like millions of records. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have to make it exact on Derry. So I have to live there. And even then, I'm probably going to get a very large number of records, so 223,000. So at this point, then you have to make decisions about how you want to filter. So some ways I like to filter, maybe I want to focus on people who were born between, say, 1909 and 1911. I find that's a great range where we could potentially add people to the tree that could have their temple work done and is close enough to the present that people might remember them. The other thing you could do is you could filter on a collection. So if you came here to collections, You could maybe focus in on one of the census collections, maybe like 1900 or 1920 or 1910. But however you filter it, let me just show you the key things you're looking for. If you see that little head icon, that's a hint. I think the easiest way is to right click on it and hit open link in new tab. That way you don't lose your search results. But now here we are in a record. And notice this record is a really great match. And we actually learned the exact birth date from this record. And so we can attach the source, and then we can come into the person's page and we can add in that new information. Okay, so in this case, we didn't add any new people to the tree, but we are making the family tree better for this, this place. And then watch what happens if I hit refresh. That little head icon that was there a second ago is now going to be a pedigree icon. It'll show up here in a second, and that means it's attached. So this is a great way of keeping track of which ones are done and which ones we still need to do. So you can see here, there's a hint. These are done. And that means if you don't see either, that means the person probably isn't on the family tree. Now with Doris, it kind of makes sense. She was born in 1946. Well, but we know she died, so she could be, we could put her on the tree. Or here's Mary Laskewitz. So she's someone that we could put on the tree, though this might be her married name. Maybe she's on the tree with her maiden name. So this is where I really like using census records because I get a whole bunch of family members on the same tree. Though if you look here, like sometimes some other records might have a lot of family members. So again, there's a hint. Okay, so probably my recommendation would be to filter in on a collection. And then maybe we could do like the 1920 census or maybe the 1910 census. Well, maybe we'll just click both of those. And then we can just start to work our way through the hints that remain. So you can see we have about 10,000. And then again, the nice thing is if you ask your missionary, hey, what are some of the people you're teaching right now? Maybe I could just search for the prices as well. So then again, that would filter my list down. Now there's just 4. Notice that a lot of them are here on the tree. So I have this interesting person on the tree or in the census whose name is just Price. Like, so I'd have to maybe go look more at that. Or here, let's try another surname. And there's just 1. But it's interesting because he is not on the tree, though he's not living with anyone. So we could add him to the tree. I know this video is getting long, so let me just show one last thing. Let me just show you how to add someone to the tree. Okay, so we will add Henry S. Hamilton to the tree. So what I like to do is I just open up another window. And again, I know this video is long, so if you just want to watch the Goldie May part, it's totally fine. I really do like some of these tools because I can get very specific. With my daughter in Uruguay, I've been able to be very specific about the surname and places. But for this, what we're going to do is we're going to go to just a person page, any person's page. This is mine. And then I'm going to hit Recents. And then I'm going to hit Add Unconnected Person. And I'm just going to open up this record right here. Now, a couple of things I always check for right here is just to see if there's any similar records or if he has a possible match. This one doesn't seem to. And so we're going to put Henry Hamilton on the tree. And then I'm actually going to just, that's all I'm going to put in for now. You'll see why in just a second. So now that I've created a little profile for him, I can come in here and hit Attach to Family Tree and hit Select. And then I can bring all his information over. Okay, so now Henry S. Hamilton is on the family tree. Now he's just a little lonely little island at the moment. But at this point, what we would hope is maybe we could find some additional record hints for him. So if we come in here to Family Search, we could see if maybe Family Search has some other possible matches for this person. So you can see here, like this could be our person. Though again, that one wouldn't help us add new people to the tree. Maybe some of these others are, though it's a little hard kind of looking at them from this view because we don't have birth years on some of these other records. But I wouldn't be surprised maybe if that Henry S. Hamilton is the same as the one we just added. The other thing, so again, we could just do research and try to see if maybe those records match. The thing I really like to do is just go over to Ancestry and then let's sign in really fast. And what I find is that sometimes on Ancestry, I can find better matches across censuses. And I also sometimes find the person on a public member tree. Let me just show that really quick. So if we come in here, here's that census record that we were looking at. And notice that Ancestry will have other record hints that for the same person. You can see here he is. He's a shoe bookkeeper in a shoe factory. He's widowed. He's a lodger. And sometimes when I hit this make a connection button, find others, sometimes I will find him sitting in a family tree. And a lot of times they will have all the things I need to figure out how he's connected. So notice here, I don't have that 1920 census attached to this person. But, there's 22 trees here. And so maybe, you know, maybe I could find him where someone else has made that connection. Though again, this would just be like doing a little bit of research, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is our person right here. And if that was the case, then I bet you as we add his parents or maybe his wife, that will connect him into the tree. And he'll go from being a little lonely island to being connected in. And so I'll probably spend some time right after that, right after this video to do that. So yeah, I hope that's helpful. I guess the main thing I just want to emphasize is what we're doing is we're looking for record hints for people that are in the place where our missionary is serving. And we can access those record hints on Goldie May. We can access them on Family Search. And then our goal is just to try to use those record hints to add people to the tree, improve the tree. And the two main purposes are so that when our missionary is working with someone, they'll be more likely to find the family if they use Family Search for the first time. And the second is I believe that as we add people to the family tree, they want to be on the family tree. They know they're super close to having their temple work done. And I believe that those people that we add to the tree start to do things that help in the gathering of Israel. And one of those things they do is to help with the missionary work that our missionaries are doing. So the really neat thing that we can do as a family then is to help grow the family tree for the place and the people that our child is serving, and as a way to provide that support, both as a form of service, but also through the angels that we touch through this work. So I hope this works out for you guys and that you have a great experience.